8 behaviors that scare men off. In this video, I'm going to share how you might unintentionally be pushing guys away. It's Sabrina, your personal love advisor from A New Mode, the channel where we show you how love actually works. One thing I've noticed over my many years as a relationship writer and coach is that most women have no idea how they're coming across to men. They have the best intentions and she tries to win him over and impress him and get him to like her, but her efforts produce the opposite result. And time after time, she's wondering why guys keep losing interest in her. I get a lot of heat when I write about or when I make videos about what women are doing wrong. I get accused of blaming women and defending men, but I'm doing neither. My job isn't to blame or excuse. My job is to explain and enlighten. I have spent most of my life studying human behavior and using my insights to help people improve their love lives. And a lot of what I've learned has come through personal devastation. I've been there, I've experienced the heartache, and I know how miserable it feels. And really what I'm trying to do is tell you guys what I wish someone had told me a long time ago. So I'm gonna spare you all that pain that I went through by revealing the behaviors that might be scaring men away and blocking you from getting the love that you really want. So make sure you watch this video all the way until the end. Real quick, if you like this video and find it helpful, please give it a like. Make sure to subscribe to my channel and ring the bell so you get notified when I post new videos. And leave a comment letting me know what you think. I love interacting with you guys. Also, if you want to know how a guy acts and behaves when he truly likes a woman, and I'm bringing this up because this is the most common question I get, like #1 question of all time from the beginning of A New Mode. Eric and I wrote a quick, easy, super quick to read guide on how to know if a guy likes you. It's called 7 Signs a Guy Likes You. It's completely free. You can download it right now or download it when you're done with this video at signshelikes.you.com. And also make sure to follow me on Instagram at A New Mode. Okay, let's get into it. So these are the behaviors that scare men away. #1, chasing him. Now, we all know this in an objective sense. Like, I don't think any woman is gonna say, oh yeah, chasing a guy is a good thing. But so many women do it. And guilty, I mean, I've done the same thing. We just kind of rationalize around it so that it's not chasing, in our minds anyway. When you find a guy that you really like and click with, you just don't want to let him slip away. So you cling on to whatever you can. You try to salvage whatever might be left. Even if you see the writing on the wall, even if you see that this guy maybe isn't as into you as you are into him, you try to make it work because who knows when the next great guy is going to come along. But the fact is, the vast majority of the time, if a guy likes you, you'll know it. What is the one thing I say to you guys over and over and over again on this channel? When a guy likes you, it's obvious. If you have to ask, you already know the answer. Your only job here is to show enough interest so that he won't be afraid of being rejected if he asks you out or takes things further. That's all you have to do in order to get things going. You do not need to chase him. There is never a reason why you should be, ardently pursuing a guy. There's no reason for it because like I said, if he likes you, he'll do something about it. If a guy has the opportunity to be with you and he doesn't take it, then he just doesn't like you enough. A high value woman will just let him go. She'll realize this just wasn't the guy for her and all right, not everyone's a match. You can't win them all. Okay, on to the next. An insecure woman will not let it go. She will make it her mission to make this work. Why? Because her self-esteem depends on it, because she doesn't have enough of a sense of self-worth within herself to be able to say, okay, it didn't work out. So instead, she plots ways to win him back over. She might text him funny things. She might show up places where she thinks he'll be. She might stalk him endlessly or get intel from his friends or maybe encourage one of their mutual friends to say something to him so that he'll realize that, oh yeah, they would be a really good couple. She might just ask him out. And she might just say, all right, why not? I'm gonna ask him out, which is just never a good idea. I talk about this in other videos. The guy might respond to her advances by being polite, and she might mistake this as him being interested, but it's not enough. He isn't showing enough interest in her to keep things going. Then this is where you can fall into the passive reciprocation trap, where the woman is basically doing all the work. She's always initiating contact. She's always asking him to hang out. And basically, if she stops reaching out to him, she'll probably never hear from him again. The reason he's receptive is because maybe he's a good guy, he feels bad, he doesn't want to hurt her, maybe he likes her a little bit. It doesn't matter what the case is. The point is, he just doesn't like her enough, and she is just in this cycle of chasing him, hoping that she can convince him to like her, or hoping that with a little more time, with a little more of him seeing how great she is, then he'll change his mind and they'll be in this perfect, amazing relationship. The point is, do not chase. There is never a reason to chase. If he wants you, he'll find you. You don't need to remind him that you exist. At the same time, I just want to add, because I'm already like foreseeing what the comments are going to be. It's okay to sometimes be a little bold, and that can sometimes work in your favor because it does indicate a very confident woman. So if you want to, slip a guy your number or make some sort of move that's a little bit bold, that's fine, but then leave it alone. Don't follow it up with any more bold, grand gestures. You made your move, you let your interest be known, and then let him pursue you. Number 2, putting him on a pedestal. It's very easy to get swept away when you're in the beginning of a relationship, or maybe it's not even a relationship. Maybe it's just a guy that you just met and you're just talking to. You haven't even established anything yet. And you get swept away because he's so nice and he's so normal, and you've been on so many dating disasters, and finally you found a normal one, and you just idolize him, and you idolize how amazing a relationship with him would be and how great everything could be, and you really just see him as this perfect, supreme being that is just far above the rest, and you better make it work with him. Putting someone on a pedestal is not flattering. It's alarming. This just reminds me of this guy that I dated, many moons back, and he just thought I was a magical unicorn princess. I mean, he was just so awestruck by me. But the thing is, we barely knew each other. We'd only been on a few dates. He was projecting something onto me, and I wasn't flattered by the way he saw me. I was alarmed by it. And it turned out this guy was like very unhinged. So my instincts were right. When you put a guy on a pedestal, it doesn't feel earned. So it doesn't feel good. It kind of just creeps him out. Because the fact is, no one's perfect. In fact, we are all deeply flawed. He knows he's deeply flawed. So if you're seeing him as this like perfect man and he's so perfect he could do no wrong, he knows that that's incongruent with reality. He knows that's not who he is, and that you're just projecting this idealized fantasy onto him, and you can't form a connection that way. You can't form a relationship that way. You're just on this uneven playing field. It's just a signal that something is off. If you cannot find any flaws with a person, then there's something amiss there. And if that's a sign that you are infatuated, it's a sign that you are just getting carried away by your own fantasies and projecting them onto him, but it's not reality. Number 3, being entitled. One of the biggest turnoffs to a man is a woman who acts entitled and just expects things. Look, there's no problem with having high standards. In fact, that's a good thing. A man wants a woman with high standards. He doesn't want a woman who's just gonna accept whatever scraps he's willing to throw her way. At the same time, men still deeply crave appreciation. They need appreciation in a relationship. If a man doesn't feel appreciated by a woman, he won't want to be with her. And it doesn't matter who she is. She could be the most beautiful, amazing, smartest, most incredible woman on the face of the planet. If she doesn't show appreciation, he will not want to be with her. Maybe he does pay for all the dates. That doesn't mean you should just expect it and feel like, oh, this is what he owes me. You should still show appreciation for it. Like I said, and like I've said a lot, I think I devoted an entire chapter to this topic in my book, 10 Things Every Woman Needs to Know About Men, which is on Amazon. It is about how essential appreciation is to a man. I have a pair of mutual friends actually who dated each other, and the relationship really, it really seemed like they were a good match and they were really happy together. Everything was going great. And she was shocked when one day he showed up at her door and he dumped her. And she never really knew why. And she probably still doesn't know why, but because I was friends with both of them, I spoke to him and I was like, so what's the deal? Why'd you break up with her? And the reason is because she was completely entitled. She didn't show any appreciation for anything he did for her, and he just had enough. It didn't matter that she checked every other box and she kind of was, what he wanted in a woman. She had all those traits. She didn't appreciate him and he dumped her. Number 4, stressing over the relationship. This is a big one, and I'm actually gonna make another video about how to stop stressing over your relationships and stop being so anxious in your relationships, so stay tuned for that. But the fact is, you cannot force someone to reciprocate your feelings. It doesn't matter how hard you try. You cannot badger someone into feeling a certain way about you. If he's not into you right now, just let it go. Stressing over it and beating yourself up over what you did wrong and what you should have done differently isn't going to get you anywhere. Don't stress over where it all went wrong. Instead, put that energy towards focusing on yourself, focusing on bettering yourself, focusing on learning from the experience. Focus on being happy and complete. Focus on appreciating the things that you do have in your life. That's what really captures a man's attention and interest. A woman who is thoroughly happy with herself and with her life. Not a woman who is thoroughly fixated on him and stressing over the state of the relationship and how he feels about her. That is a very unattractive energy that everyone can pick up on. Even the most emotionally stunted guy can pick up on that stressed, anxious, worrying energy. And it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be around that. Another thing to keep in mind, because this is a trap that I definitely used to fall into, is that there's always going to be something to worry about. This is the trap with worrying. It feels like there's going to be an endpoint. Like you stress about the relationship and you feel like, well, as soon as he tells me he really cares about me, then I'll feel better. As soon as he commits to me, then I'll feel better. As soon as he says, I love you, then I'll feel better. Then I'll feel secure in the relationship. As soon as we move in together, as soon as we get engaged, as soon as we get married. But then when you're married, you worried, is he going to lose interest? Is he going to cheat? Is he still attracted to me? There is always going to be something new to worry about. So you have to squash the worry at the source. You have to identify when you're stressing and getting anxious and getting all in your head about something and just cut it at the root. Just tell those thoughts to go away. I know it sounds crazy, but it really works. When you find yourself getting into that frenzy of worried thoughts that are just cycling and spiraling out of control, recognize what's happening and say, I am not going to engage with those thoughts. Those thoughts don't serve me. I'm going to put my attention elsewhere. You might have to do this many, many times before your thoughts get the message, but in time, you will rewire the way your brain works, and you will be able to stop that obsessive looping cycle that literally drives you insane. Relationships aren't that complicated. The problem is we make them complicated by creating problems in our mind that don't exist and then strategizing and stressing over ways to solve them. Don't do this to yourself. Number 5, making him the sole center of your universe. Maybe in the movies, that's a romantic thing to do. You fall in love and then everything else in your life just falls by the wayside and all you have is each other. But that is not realistic and that is not healthy. That is not a healthy relationship. This guy was drawn to you because you had a well-rounded life. You had friends that you hung out with. You had hobbies. You had a lot going on. Don't drop all those things and put him in the number 1 slot. Especially when he hasn't earned it. I mean, if you guys are just starting out a relationship, then he has not earned number 1 spot in your life. All those other things still come before him until he works his way up the ladder and earns that top slot. It's just too much pressure to make a guy the sole center of your universe, the sole center of your happiness and your self-esteem. And that's not his job. A relationship and a guy can certainly add to your happiness. He can certainly enhance your self-esteem, enhance your sense of meaning and purpose and all those things, but he cannot be those things for you. You need to have an established base of that in your life already. Number 6, committing too soon. Oh, so many of us are guilty of this one. Acting like you're in a relationship will not get you a relationship. If anything, it might put an abrupt end to whatever it is that you have right now. Here's how it usually goes down. Boy meets girl. Girl really, really likes boy. Girl cancels her dating apps and gets rid of all the other potential suitors and pours all of her time and attention into boy. Boy enjoys all the benefits of being in a relationship, but tells girl that he likes things as they are and he doesn't want to put a label on things. Girl is pretty disappointed, but she sticks around hoping that if she proves herself a little more, then eventually she will be deemed worthy of having the blessed girlfriend title bestowed upon her. Now, how many times have you been in a situation like that? I hear about it every day in my inbox and in my DMs. It can be difficult to keep your options open when you meet a guy who shines so much brighter than the rest, but you have to. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket. You cannot commit to him before he's committed to you. Because when you do this, what incentive does he have to take things a step further? If you're giving him all the benefits of a relationship without any of the responsibility, why would he add that responsibility onto his shoulders? Committing too soon leads to one of two outcomes typically. Either the guy will feel way too much pressure and he'll just back off and he'll just realize, okay, we want two different things, we're on two different pages, I've had enough. Or he'll kind of placate her and keep her at bay by saying things like, I like things the way they are, let's just leave it how it is. And she'll basically kind of be his girlfriend stand-in while he continues to explore his options, which he's allowed to do since he's not committing in an official way. Either way, it's not a good strategy. It's really important to go slow and steady, and don't invest yourself in him until he has invested in you. Number 7, being negative. One of the biggest driving needs of a man is to be able to make the woman he's with happy. That is why men are so repulsed by negative women who are just complaining all the time and just have a very negative attitude and negative vibe. No man wants to serve as a woman's emotional dumping ground. It just adds more stress to his life, and who needs more stress? Also, there's nothing lovable about someone who's angry, frustrated, sarcastic, bitter. It's not that he's gonna stop loving you if you have these moments, because we can't just be in a state of bliss and pleasant emotions and happiness and positivity all the time. I mean, I definitely can. I don't think anybody can. But at the same time, if you are bringing so much negativity into your interactions with him, then he's just gonna be repelled by it. Men are so repulsed by negativity. It's probably as repulsive to a man as neediness and desperation. Men move towards what feels good. That's another thing we talk about a lot on this channel. If it feels good to be around you, he'll wanna be around you. If it feels bad to be around you, he won't wanna be around you. It really is as simple as that. So if you are a negative, complaining person, really work on getting that under control. It's not only gonna help your love life and your relationship, it's just gonna help your life in general. It's so much better to be a positive person. That a positive person is magnetic. People are drawn to a positive person. No one wants to be around a negative person. Number 8, oversharing. One of the benefits to being in a loving relationship is that you can just be. You can be your authentic self. You can be seen and known for who you truly are. But I'm guessing that you're not in that established loving relationship phase yet. You're probably in the earlier phases of a relationship if you're watching this video. And at that phase, it is important not to let all those skeletons out of the closet right away. There's no need to overshare. If anything, it just comes across as unearned. And like I said earlier, it doesn't feel good when we get something that we haven't earned. Speaking of, like that guy from earlier, the unhinged guy who thought I was a magical princess unicorn, he was telling me things that like he had never told anyone in his life. And he had told himself it was because he just felt so close to me. And he was just sharing all his deepest, darkest secrets. And again, that was another red flag that he was very unhinged, which he was. Building a connection takes time. It's not gonna get you closer to intimacy or to being an established couple to just reveal all your deepest, darkest secrets right away. At the same time, it's a red flag if a guy is revealing all his deepest, darkest secrets to you. Reveal yourself slowly. Be like an onion. Let the layers peel back gradually. Don't just share everything right away. What did you think of this list? Are you guilty of any of these behaviors? I will tell you, I have been guilty of all of these behaviors in the past. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure to sign up for the A New Mode newsletter for more content, anewmode.com/subscribe. The link is down below. Follow me on Instagram @anewmode, and I will see you guys in the next video.